Okay, perfect. All right. So that was a lot of technical information. I hope you're not finding this podcast boring.
I mean, it's really important.
It is important. It's really, really important. So this is a little bit more interesting. It's not like so technical, but pigment related. And this is another topic that, would you say the last 2 or 3 weeks, Olivia? Showing up everywhere, all over the message boards. We're getting a lot of emails and messages privately on this, and that is the carbon load in the organic brow colors. Right? People are concerned. They're seeing some aging, or they're discovering, what can happen, and they're seeing some aging that they're not particularly fond of, and it's scaring them. And so now they're talking about carbon black being used in brow colors. And so let's go back to like 2016 and the whole industry, maybe 2015, 2016. And the whole industry just kind of got crazy about organics and got obsessed with organics. And it's what they wanted. It's what the industry wanted. Because our industry goes in trends, right? And it seems like we're extreme. It's not. It's almost like what I saw happen. The way I'll explain it is, it's not like they stay with something that they know it works and is good and solid, and then adopt like a new product or a new trend into their toolbox. We get obsessed and we completely drop and turn away from what we were using and what did work to this new product or new way of doing things, and it kind of takes over the industry, like becomes this frenzy, and everybody gets like super obsessed and super excited about it. And that's what happened with the organics. There were always organic lines. I've been doing this 21 years this September, and 21 years ago there was organic pigment lines, organic. And of course, iron oxide. LI has always been a predominantly iron oxide line. Aqua and Velvet, always predominantly iron oxide. There are some organic colorants mixed in there to balance it out, but predominantly it's iron oxide. And then around 2015, I guess organics just took off. Everybody wanted to use organics and got obsessed. And leading up to that time, I had asked, Darlene, we had developed Forever Lips, which was an organic lip line, because when I became a distributor for LI, like 12 years ago, I was super honest with her, the owner of LI, and said, yes, I use your brow colors, I use your eyeliner colors, love them. But don't hate me, but I don't use your lip colors. I don't prefer iron oxides for lips. I never have. I prefer iron oxides or a blend, for eyebrows. But for lips, I've always really liked how organics perform, better than an iron oxide. And so I couldn't, and I had to be honest about that. And I was, and of course, that didn't please her, but I was still accepted as a distributor and whatnot. But I bugged her enough to where we created Forever Lips, an all organic line. Almost all organic. Of course, there's titanium, a little bit of titanium in some of the colors, and that's an inorganic. So technically speaking, there really is not an all 100% organic line, because sometimes you got to put a little titanium in there for opaqueness or to get a color to be as light as you need it to be. And again, titanium dioxide is an inorganic. But so we developed the Forever Lip line. It's super successful. It's really strong. It's really beautiful. We've got, mad, crazy fans of our Forever Lip line. I love it. And so once that was developed now, then I started bugging her about the brows. And she didn't really want to do brows. She did not want to do an organic brow line. She just did not want to do it. And her whole concern was the carbon thing. If it's going to be an organic, like if all the colorants, forget titanium dioxide having to be added here and there, but if all the colorants are going to be organic, if that's what the industry wants, and you're talking, then the black used is going to be carbon. It's going to be an organic. It's going to be carbon. And that concerned Darlene. And it concerned me too, of course. But as chemists and pigment formulators, it really concerned them. So they started playing with some safeguards, some different types of formulas and things they could do to safeguard against carbon. So let's talk about carbon. Carbon is an organic, right? Everybody knows what carbon is. It is, it has the highest light fastness, the strongest UV durability, and it has long-lasting power. And if I'm to be honest, it does have the ability to outlast anything. It has that ability, and that's what concerned LI and myself when we started formulating the loaded brow colors. When you're talking an organic line, to get to some of these dark shades, you have to add black to achieve these dark shades. And sometimes for these really dark shades like Mustang, Outlaw Brown, Sundown, you're talking, there can be quite a bit of carbon in those particular shades, those really dark shades. And we need those really dark shades. And so when we went into development for loaded, LI went into development of loaded with that on the forefront of their mind, how, we got to deal with this carbon thing. And so a couple of years prior to that, they were doing research and development because about 3 years, I would say in about 2013, they sent me a set of organic brow colors, and we never ended up releasing them. So you're talking, 3 years before we ever really started formulating what is now the loaded line. LI was testing and researching different carbons and different blends to balance out the carbon. So what some people may not know is there are hundreds and hundreds of carbons available to pigment manufacturers. And carbon is either blue-based, ash gray based, or it has a true black base. And what LI discovered is working with a true black-based carbon is better, because that's going to allow, or it's going to give stability to the brow color and aid that brow color in fading down to a lighter version of itself. If you're using a blue-based carbon in your brow formulation, then you very, very well could get a blue eyebrow. If you're using an ash gray-based carbon, then you very well could get that battleship gray as it ages. And so that was one of the discoveries that LI made. And so we use those truer black-based carbons. And with hundreds of carbons available, LI ended up making a very unique blend of carbons used specifically for their brow colors. And that blend of carbons is different than what is used in our eyeliner colors that contain carbon. They had to address each type of pigment very differently. You've got your brow colors that have to contain carbon if it's an organic line, and you've got your carbon-based eyeliners. So brows and eyeliners, two very different parts of the body, two very different formulations. And so the carbon blends that LI created, they're different blends. A very particular blend for their brow formulas, a very particular blend for their eyeliner formulas. So, okay, boom, check that off the list. They figured out which carbons are going to be better for a brow formula, which are going to work better and age more stable. So the other thing that LI did was they formulated a very unique blend of yellows. They mixed warm, cool, and neutral yellows together. And those yellows had high light fast, not only high light fast, but something that's not mentioned in pigments. You know, you do hear about light fastness, and the higher the number, it's, you know, a scale 1 to 8, 7, 8 being really high in light fastness. That means it holds up against fading really, really good. If it's a 1 or a 2, then it fades really quick. And so light fastness is really important when it comes to choosing your colorants that you're going to put in that bottle of pigment. So created a very unique blend of yellows, warm, neutral, and cool yellows, all with, you know, higher light fastness and a heavy weight. And what I mean by weight is yellows also come in different weight, not just light fastness. So you can have, so let's say I had a glass, like 2 glasses, you know, in my hand, and I filled one glass, both glasses at the same level, but one was with a yellow with a lighter weight and one was with a yellow with a heavier weight. It would actually, even though they're filled to the same level, one would weigh more because it's denser. It has a heavier weight to it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that was key in choosing our yellows. Not only were they warm, cool, and neutral yellows, but they were high in the light fast, higher in the light fast number set, and they had weight to them. Created that blend of yellows, and that took some time because there's a lot of yellows to choose from. That took some time creating that unique blend of yellows. And then they combined that with very particular reds, warm and neutral reds. And mixed all that together. And then there you have a base foundation to blend with your unique carbon blend that you just developed for the brow colors. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So blend all that together. It's milled, it's blended, it's mixed in a very particular way at the LI lab. It's all fused together. And all that helps safeguard the aging process when it comes to the organic brow colors in the loaded line. And I know LI. I've known them for 12 years. And I know myself. You know, we tested this line thoroughly. And this line's been out in the market and yield results for 3 years now. And we are not seeing gray results. We're not seeing it. But we did release it with caution. We fully understand carbon. But that's why these unique blends were developed. And I know LI and myself both felt confident that Loaded was a solid line of brow colors. And we felt confident that the aging process of them would be stable and cohesive, even though it contained carbon. Yeah. Whew.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, I know. So, you know, it just shows you like how much thought and how much concern and testing and research and development needs to go into just one bottle of pigment, for Pete's sake, you know? And LI's tough. Darlene, she's a tough cookie, man. She has never, ever, ever, ever put profit over safety. Ever, ever, ever. You know, she'd rather suffer, you know, financially. Not that they do, but I'm being, you know, I'm just trying to give an example. But no, they just, you know, they go to great lengths to, you know, her saying to me is always, I don't want to have egg in my face. She says that to me constantly, like, can't have egg in my face, Taryn. Can't have egg in my face. And that's her saying. That and this too shall pass. She says that to me all the time too. And I'm always like, well, when? When's it going to fucking pass? Can't pass soon enough, Darlene. This last year reformulating was like hell on earth. And it was hell on earth because we care so much, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you care so much. So yeah, so that's, and I hope explaining that and the way we addressed the carbon factor when making the loaded organic brow colors, I hope that made sense, and I hope it put people at ease. Now, LI has never, ever, ever guaranteed the aging of any pigment on any face, because you have to consider there's so many outside, variables like the client's skin, their medication, their health, do they sun, this, that, there's just so many outside variables that pigment manufacturers have absolutely no control of, us artists have no control of, that can cause bad fading, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I do feel confident about loaded, even though it has carbon in it. So again, we created a very unique blend of black-based carbons, multiple carbons, and that unique blend is used in our brow formula. Very different from the blend we use in our eyeliner formula. And to safeguard against the strength of carbon and to stabilize aging, LI created a very unique blend of warm, neutral, and cool yellows with high light fastness, heavy weight, combined it with very particular reds, blended that with the unique carbon blend, and voila, it's working so far. So fingers crossed, it keeps working. But hey, I just got a loaded brow, and it was like 2.5 years old, and it looked absolutely fantastic. So I think that the perception out there is, all iron oxides fade warm, pink, red, orange, and all organics fade cool, gray, blue, purple. And although that definitely does happen, we have seen it a lot with both iron oxides and organics. That's just a very general blanket statement that does not apply to all pigment lines. It just doesn't. In the organic range, of course, we have that carbon that is super strong and can be, overpowering, that we have to deal with, especially with brow colors. And in the iron oxide line, we have red ore, that iron oxide red. And there's like 9 or 10 different iron oxide reds, and some of them are freaking strong and overpowering, and some of them are not. And so it's just knowing. It's knowing, like what, iron oxide reds to use, when to use them, how to use them. And it's about pairing, when you're making colors that contain iron oxide red, you have to pair it. You have to marry it with some green colorants. Green counters red. Just like with the carbon, we married it and paired it with some, yellows, including warm yellows, including some warm reds, to counter, the carbon. So I've always seen making pigments, really good pigments that age stable and do not turn into these fugitive colors, as a balancing act. It's a serious balancing act. Yeah. Of pairing colors together and knowing the colors, knowing the colorants. Yeah. And of course, there's thousands and thousands and thousands. If there's hundreds and hundreds of carbons, just carbons, carbon blacks, imagine like all the colorants out there, the reds, the yellows, the, wow. I mean, the brown, right, the oranges, the umbers, so there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of colorants. Now I've been doing this 30 years, and they've had some, and it's through research and development, some wins and some fails. I mean, we've certainly formulated colors that failed. No, back to the drawing board. But yeah, so good. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I can't wait to get your feedback on this particular podcast. I want your feedback on all my podcasts, but this one is just really, really, really very particular, important information to the artists, and there's a lot going on right now in our industry regarding pigments. So please, I know a lot of people stream us. You're streaming us either on Spotify, iTunes, Buzzsprout, or Podcast Addict, which is great. We love our streamers and we're grateful to you, but you can't ask a question on an audio stream. So you want to ask us a question, go to our Tatter-a-fact YouTube page, find this podcast and ask your question. And please like and follow us. Your likes and follows mean a whole lot to us. We work really, really hard. Olivia and Willow work really, really hard on each one of these podcasts. I don't do much. I just, I don't.
You just do the talking.
I just come in, sit down, you make me look good, and then you're like, okay, go, talk. Camera's on, talk. No, that's not true. It's not true. I prepare for these podcasts. I prepare my information. I make sure they're accurate and educational and fun at the same time. All right. So I want to leave you with a positive quote. And that positive quote this week is, never beg for a seat at the table when you can build your own fucking table, and a custom fucking table at that. How do you like that one?
That was a good one.
That was a good one, right? All right. Stay in the pursuit of happiness, everybody, and we will see you next time on A Tatter-a-fact.